So let's just jump right in. What if I told you that the most destructive objects in the entire universe are also its greatest builders? That right at the heart of almost every big galaxy, there's not just a black hole, there's an engine. A celestial engine that doesn't just destroy, it actively creates and shapes everything around it.
Yeah, for the longest time, we had it completely backward. The scientific consensus was that the supermassive black holes at the center of galaxies were just sleeping giants, cosmic couch potatoes, gravitational drains that didn't really do much. Turns out, that could not be further from the truth.
And I mean, you really have to appreciate how huge this shift in thinking is. We went from seeing them as these dormant monsters, these passive cosmic relics, to realizing what they actually are. Active engines. They are dynamic regulators. They're literally galaxy architects. This wasn't just a minor tweak to the theory. It was a total revolution.
Okay, so if they're not just sleepy monsters, what are they when they wake up? Well, this is where we get to one of the most powerful and spectacular phenomena in the known universe.
Let me introduce you to the active galactic nucleus, or AGN for short. This is what you get when a supermassive black hole stops being quiet and starts actively feeding on the gas and dust and stars swirling around it. And as it eats, it unleashes this unbelievable torrent of energy, turning the whole center of the galaxy into this intensely bright beacon. Just try to get your head around this number, 10 to the power of 48 ergs per second. Now, an erg is a tiny amount of energy, sure, but that number is so astronomical it's almost meaningless. So let's put it this way. The energy blasting out of a single AGN can outshine all the stars in its entire host galaxy combined. We're talking hundreds of billions of stars, and this one single point of light is brighter than all of them put together.
So, the big question is, how does all of that incredible energy actually go about shaping an entire galaxy? Well, scientists have figured out that it really boils down to 4 fundamental mechanisms. You can think of them as the 4 pillars that support this entire galaxy-building process.
And here they are. First, we've got energy feedback. Then there's gas excitation. Third is star formation quenching. And finally, the really big one, morphological transformation. Let's walk through each one, because this is where you really see how this engine works.
All right, first pillar, feedback. This is how the AGN pumps its energy into the galaxy, and it does it in 2 main flavors. You've got radiative feedback, which is basically a blinding flash of high-energy light that heats and sterilizes all the gas nearby. Then you have mechanical feedback. This is the really dramatic stuff. Powerful jets and winds that act like a cosmic snowplow, physically shoving gas right out of the galaxy's core.
So you might be thinking, how can we even see this happening from so far away? Well, the AGN leaves clues, what you could call cosmic fingerprints. All that intense radiation lights up gas clouds for thousands of light years around, making them glow with a very specific, unique signature of light. It's like a neon sign that says, an AGN was here. By finding these fingerprints, astronomers can actually map out the black hole's sphere of influence.
Okay, now this is where the black hole's job as a regulator really kicks in. It can completely shut down a galaxy's ability to form new stars, a process called quenching. And it has 3 pretty brutal methods. First, the ejective way. Just blow all the fuel for new stars straight out of the galaxy. Problem solved. Second, preventive. It heats up the galaxy's entire halo of gas, basically starving it of new material. And third, the thermal method. This one's a bit more subtle. It just warms up gas clouds enough so they can't collapse to form stars in the first place. And the scale of this ejective quenching is just, well, it's unbelievable. We're not talking about a small trickle of gas. These outflows can launch 1,000 solar masses, that's 1,000 times the mass of our sun, out of a galaxy every single year. An entire galaxy's fuel tank for future stars can be emptied in a cosmic blink of an eye. But this engine does more than just play around with gas. Its influence is so profound, so all-encompassing, that it can actually change the fundamental shape and structure of its host's galaxy. All of that energy, that heating, that violent ejection of material can take a beautiful, star-forming spiral galaxy, like our own Milky Way, and over billions of years, it can completely transform it into a giant, so-called red and dead elliptical galaxy. The black hole literally re-engineers its own home from the inside out. So let's pull back. What's the big picture here? Why does this complete rewrite of how black holes work matter so much? Well, it's because it finally solves some of the biggest and most persistent puzzles in cosmology.
This new framework just makes so many things click into place.
It explains the weirdly tight relationship between a black hole's mass and its galaxy's properties. It explains why really big galaxies seem to just suddenly stop making stars. It's the reason we see so many of those giant red elliptical galaxies out there. It shows us that black holes and their galaxies don't just happen to be in the same place. They're in a cosmic dance, growing and evolving together for billions of years.
And you know how it goes in science, right? Answering a bunch of old questions just opens up a whole new can of worms, with even more exciting new questions to tackle. This story is far from over.
I mean, just look at this journey. From the old dormant monster theory in the 20th century to the first real clues of an active engine in the early 2000s. And now, today, we have amazing tools like the JWST and ALMA that are giving us these breathtakingly clear views of these outflows in action. And the future? Even better. Telescopes are already being planned that will map this entire feedback cycle across cosmic history.
And that brings it all right back home to us. Sagittarius A star, the supermassive black hole at the center of our own Milky Way, it's quiet. It's sleeping right now. But we know what these things are capable of. The engine is just dormant, waiting for fuel. And that leaves you with a pretty fascinating question, doesn't it? For how long?